Welcome to the next episode of Friday Sews. Now today's video, it's all about sewing and buys and things like that. I think the first bit of my video I share my empty ironing baskets. I know it's a bit silly, but I was so chuffed because I wasn't very well and then I finally tackled the ironing. I've got a 3-minute snippet of our little trip to Bourton on the Water, which is just that we spent the afternoon in Bourton on the Water on Sunday, but the rest of it, it's all sewing related. You see a bit of work in progress and yeah, buys and things. So I'm just trying, normally I write a note of all the things that I've filmed, but I haven't wrote any notes. I'm just trying to jog my memory of what you're going to see in this week's video. So I'm going to send you over to my video now. I hope you enjoy it. Bye. Empty ironing baskets. Finally caught up after being poorly. Right, I'm just stopping on for a quick hello. It is now Monday. I can't see the date. It's covering it. What would it be? Would it be I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the date. I think it's the 7th, is it? It might be the 7th, right? Yeah, I've got an analogue kind of clock on, not a digital. So we yeah, it's covering the date because it's 12 midday, and like it is lunchtime, but my husband is at work and my middle son has fell back asleep. He hasn't slept well at all because of the heat in the house, and my eldest, I don't know if he's gone to work or if he's still asleep. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have a check in his bedroom. But all morning, other than getting myself ready, excuse me, I've got these in. The reason I've left them in is because I've done my hair this morning, and then when I go out later, because it's really hot at the moment, it's going to be hot like every day now for a while, I've just left them in, and I've been ironing. So actually my hair was looking a bit frizzy a second ago. I've had to iron it down a bit, like just pat it down. Yeah, so basically I've just done all the ironing, and basically while I was poorly, no ironing was getting done. My eldest was ironing his aprons, but apart from that, it wasn't getting done. So yeah, I've just managed to tackle all that. Now you may see I've got a handful of things, and that's why I've popped on. Now I've had a delivery this month. This is not all deliveries, this is bits and bobs, but now I'm not sure what size these are. All I know, well, I must admit I was expecting a 3-pack, but I only seem to have 2. I'll check my my receipt actually, because sometimes companies make a mistake, don't they? Or maybe they're going to follow. I don't know. Let's have a look. Sewing Street. No, that's not the right receipt. Right, I'll have a look around for it. Basically, these, now I've knitted a long time, and I've knitted on double pointed needles, I've knitted on circular needles, regular needles, I've done the magic loop thingy. Do you know what I'm saying? I've probably done it all basically, and I've done loom knitting. But look at these. They're for knitting in the round. Now there's only, I don't know how, I think you get 3 in the pack, and they're meant to make it good for knitting. And they're a 2.5mm and a 3mm. Now I don't know what I'm going to need for those socks, or the one if I've started a sock. I'm not quite sure. I found the basket with the sock yarn in it, and but I've not actually looked in it yet. I've just been a bit busy, but I'm just having a look at these. I'm just wondering what size needles we need. Please tell me quickly. 2.5. Oh, you're going to need 2.5 and 3mm. So those are perfect, because I just ordered those on a whim. So yeah, I'm going to give those a go. So if you're interested in knitting, I'll let you know how I get on when I start the socks, but I probably won't start those yet. Well, it all depends if I've got hand stitching on the go, and I am hand stitching at the moment. I've traced out, do you know that design that I showed you that I'm going to put on a bag or on a pouch in my other video? I'm going to, well, I've lost what I'm thinking what I'm doing now. Oh, basically I've traced it again, just the scissors and the little buttons, and I've started stitching it, and it's to make a pincushion. It was one of the projects that Mandy has given us for being a new member of the club. So basically you just retrace it, but without all the outer bits, and you don't put any like wording or anything. And yeah, so I'm going to do that, and it's going to be a nice Mandy Shaw pincushion. If I've got a photograph of what that's going to look like, I'll pop that on so you can have a look. Now, those needles have come from Yarn Lane, which is linked with Sewing Street, and I think they came with these, and I'll just pop these to the side. Right, and they didn't come with them, but this is what I've ordered. Now initially I only purchased one, but then I ended up adding another one to my basket. And they're fabric panels to make aprons basically, and I ended up ordering 2. Now I don't know if I'm going to make 2 or if I'm going to line it, so use one so it's reversible. But look at this. Where's the other one? Oh, there's the other one. Right, look at it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So that's the front panel. And these are all the strap pieces. And there is a pocket as well. So, yeah, it's going to be for me, basically. I just think it's going to look really beautiful. Now, basically, Rebecca Reed, who was presenting the show on Sewing Street, she was wearing an apron that somebody had made up in this one. And I really quite liked it. Now, the picture looked quite different to her wearing it. It looked more muted. I think what you see on screen looks a bit more muted. But then when they showed you the little picture, it looked a bit more true to colour, I think. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It actually looks a bit more like a purpley hue, actually. Less navy. Actually, looking at it, it does look a bit more like how it looked on Rebecca, not so much on the picture. So yeah, you've got to be careful of that, haven't you? So that's really look well. Anyway, then they demonstrated it being made, and then it was in this colourway, and then I caved. I absolutely caved. So I don't know if I'm just going to make two aprons, because you don't line this apron, you just fold over the edges and hem them all. So it's pretty simple. It is, but this one's not going to be so forgiving, is it, with dirt and things? But I thought it was gorgeous. Just look at those. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Like, if you like flowers and foliage, that is. Do you know what? My mum, she's not into flowers. She wouldn't appreciate a card bought for her or anything made in flowers. She's not a flowery person. But I am a flowery person. So, yeah, I really like that. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I might either be making two aprons where it's lots and lots of hemming. I might be making two aprons where I use a lining fabric, or I might be piecing these two aprons together and making one apron, so it would be reversible. So maybe when I'm doing a bit more of a dirtier job, I could put it that way and then flip it over. But I suppose if I ever did get a stain on one and then it seeped through, I suppose then I'm going to stain both. So yeah, I'll have a little bit of a think about it, but I just think even just dangling there, they're going to look gorgeous, aren't they? So I don't know when I'm going to make those. I think I'm going to prioritise my husband's apron, because obviously it's Father's Day, isn't it? So yeah, his apron's going to come first. And then I ordered a little something. Now, I was supposed to be getting a free pattern for ordering something from the Simple Sew website because of what I spent, but I haven't got it. Yeah, it isn't in there, so I don't know what's happened there. But oh gosh, I didn't order those needles from Yarn Lane. I ordered them from Simple Sew, and the reason I popped in the two things so I get the free pattern, but they haven't given me the free pattern, so I don't know what's gone on there. So I've been had there, haven't I? So I've ordered this pattern, the Vogue pattern. It's the V1700, but I really like this. Now, do you remember that shop bought shirt I showed you that I bought? It kind of looked like this on the neckline, didn't it? But with buttons. It really reminded me of that. So yeah, I'm quite keen. I can see me not leaving this a long time till I make it. I really are. But obviously aprons, I've got to think of gifts. Gifts always have to come first. And now it's the tops, isn't it? Do you remember I said to you, my husband's birthday, I bought him t-shirts. Here they are. And basically, he tried them all on. And we've basically put a pin in one arm. So that's how much he wants wedged out. And we've done this on one arm of 4 t-shirts that I've bought him. So I'm just going to measure what I'm taking off and then repeat it. So that is what's going to be my next sew. Basically alterations and hand embroidery upstairs. So yeah, that's all I've got to show you at the moment. So I hope you know, I know it's a bit boring, but yeah, it's just what's going on at the moment, and these things happen. And actually, I'm wearing a beach cover up from River Island that I bought in January. I am, but yeah, it's quite pretty actually. Look, it's ombre, It's got this lovely frilly bit at the bottom. I just thought it's going to be nice. I wasn't planning on going on holiday, but just for wearing around the house, it's really nice. And it's got this lovely bit, look, that, oh my god, crosses down. Just fold it over. It dangles down the back. Look, I think that's quite pretty. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me so far, and I'll see you in the next bit. My husband informs me he doesn't need this anymore, and you put it on top of a desk. So I'm thinking of using it in the craft room and putting it on top of one of my calacs that lies on its side, just so it gives me a little bit of space underneath, and then I can put things on top, just to make double the use of the space, really. Well, I've just cleared the calacs that I'm going to be putting the shelf on, and you wouldn't believe the amount of things I've found that were missing, so that's great. Please excuse the state of that shelf. It isn't actually dirty, I have cleaned it, but it needs painting, and those stains just won't come off it, unfortunately. But yeah, when we revamp this room, we'll probably give that a paint. It's a radiator cover, so, and it's never been painted. Right, here we go. Now I know this isn't a pretty sight, it's just a load of clutter in my craft room, but do you know what, it's a damn sight better than it was before I put that shelf there. I was in a bit of a mess, so it's just looking a bit tidier. I've got loads of organising to do. I've outgrown this box here that's full of elastics and Velcro and things, so yeah, I've just got a lot of sorting out to do. And look at my notice board now. Remember that notice board I made? Look how much stuff I've got on it. It's a little bit crazy. I think I'm going to have to make another one if I want to keep everything on there. So there you go. I'm about to start sewing my husband's sleeves on the t-shirts that I bought him for his birthday. He needs about 1 inch out of it, so I've marked the inch, and then I've drew a line in a wedge going down to the seam line. It's kind of disappeared. I don't know if I've gone off a little bit there. Yeah, I might have to veer off a little bit towards that line there. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to cut it, because I just liked him to try them on first, and if I need to make an adjustment, I can make an adjustment. Right, I've cut all my pieces out to make my pincushion. There's two 1.5 by 4.5. There's two 6.5 by 1.5. There's four 2.5 by 6.5. And then there's one piece that's 6.5 by 6.5, and then that's my red work that I've got to cut out. And I've got everything I need apart from the wadding sorted, but I've got some. Right, it's now Wednesday, and I'm just going to show you what I was getting up to yesterday. And it's this. I'll just get it out. Move my box out of the way. Right, and here we go. Excuse the state of my cutting mat. I've had it years. Right. That looks a bit skewiff, doesn't it? Right. What I've done here is I've sewed one of those small panels on this side, and then another one on this side. Then I press the seams out away from this bit, and then I put these long pieces on here. Then I placed it on a piece of wadding. I didn't stick it or anything. And then last night I just sat watching TV and I just did this running stitch. So that's how it's attached. It's just that running stitch. So I'm just going to trim down the wadding now, and then I'm going to start sewing the sides on. So I've got these 4 side panels, and I'm going to be sewing them on. So what I'll be doing is just going 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and then stopping 1/4 of an inch away from the edge here, and then keep doing that with all the pieces going around. And then I'll be stitching the corners, because basically it's a box pincushion that's going to have a pie crust basically. So off I go to do a bit of work on it, and it's not far from lunchtime, so I haven't got an awful lot of time. I've laid my first piece on now, and I've put a ruler here, and I've put it on the 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to make a dot there. I'm going to do the same here, but I know sometimes you find when you sew,
sometimes you can get a bit of movement and then you end up with a bit of overhang, so you might have to adjust where the dot is. But I will make the dot to start with, and if I have to make a change when I'm at the sewing machine, I'll have to make a change. I'll just see how it goes. Right, a couple of little tips I want to mention. When you cut out if you're making this pincushion of Mandy Shaw's and you're cutting these pieces out, I would cut them out a little bit bigger than it says, the width-wise, because then at the end, you're going to trim your block down to an 1.5 inches anyway. 6.5 inches, so you can trim it down to 6.5 inches. Mine's turned out okay, but sometimes fabric can shrink a little bit back when you start doing things, so that would probably be useful. Now, it doesn't say to do this on the pattern. If you can see my dots there, I've sewn from dot to dot. Now what I've done is I've pressed it back a little bit, because when you sew the next one you're going to be doing that, so I've pressed it and I can get it out of the way like that, look. And then I'm going to place the other one then along here and do the same, mark the dot and just sew 1/4 inch from each end, and just do that all the way around. So I'll come back when I get to the next bit. So this is where I'm at now. The 4 sides are on. Now I've got to sew all these corners. Now because I've folded all the edges, I think it's going to make it a little bit easier, so I'll let you know how we get on. And then we're going to be sewing the base in, but we're going to be leaving a turning gap for basically stuffing, so that's exciting. Right, I'm just showing you how this looks now. Now I've pinned one side, and how I've done that is I've folded one corner to one corner like that, and then I've lined this up and I've pinned. I haven't been using pins in this project, but at this point I am using pins, and I'm going to sew from the dot that I made before. And I've actually made another dot on this side. It doesn't tell you to do that, but I personally think you should only sew to 1/4 inch from the edge of the seam. But it doesn't tell you to that in the pattern, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm about to sew the final corner, so I'm just showing you here where I've made my mark, and I've been sewing from top down to the wadding area. Well, I say top, it's bottom up, and I've done that on every single one because I think it's easier to start from this end on the dot and then sew down to that line there rather than starting at the bulky area. So this is how I'm looking now. I've sewed those 4 corners, and I'm just going to pop it out for you to have a look. And it looks pretty good. No, I can't see any gaps on it. Now, if you had any gaps or anything, you could just go back and sew them, or if there's any problem, unpick and just re-sew. But yeah, it's looking okay. So what the plan is now, I'm going to take my back panel piece and I'm going to mark the 1/4 inch mark on all the corners, so I know that's where to pivot. Basically, it'll just give me a bit of a guide. Right, I've made a mark 1/4 inch on all the corners, and then on the one side I've marked a 3-inch gap, and that's going to be my turning gap. You could actually leave the whole of one side open if you wanted to, or do it this way. There's different ways of doing it, but I'm just going to leave the 3-inch gap for now. And I might even iron this over the edge, and the edge that I plan to leave, that, which I'll probably leave it on this edge, the one that you're going to be, because you're going to be mainly having it facing you, aren't you? So I'll probably leave this on. I'm probably going to iron that over 1/4 inch just on that side, and then on that side, because it can make it a bit easier then when you're sewing up your hole. Right, I've done that pressing, and now I'm not going to pin the whole thing in. I'm just going to do it bit by bit. So I'm going to lay that dot right on that seam line there, and then I'm going to start stitching along here. I'm not going to pin, I'm just going to go along and ease it in nicely. Right, this is how we're looking now. We've got a boxy shape. There's the hole where I'm going to be stuffing and turning out, and that's the other side. So I'm going to just clip these corners here. Maybe I'll do that for you to see. Bear with me. I have to use the paper scissors. Oh no, here's some fabric scissors. Just make sure you don't clip any of your stitches or cut your finger, which I nearly did there. It's difficult filming. and doing things at the same time. There we go. Oh, and maybe this side as well. Just make sure you don't cut through any of those stitches. I'm not going as close as I probably would with some things that I sew, because there's quite a few layers here. Right, there we go. Right, leave me to stuff. I probably haven't got time now. I've got to go and get my son from school, but yeah, but that's the next stage anyway. Actually, I'm going to just turn it the right way for you to see. I normally choose a corner that's far away. See those two? And poke those through. Pick another two. It's a messy business doing this. Push those through. Two more. Push those through. And now I'll just get a bit more of that through. It's quite easy, this project, to push out all your corners. And there we go. That's how we're looking so far. So you stuff this and then you do the pie crust edging, which I'll show you a bit of that as well. So I thought you'd like to see it all stuffed and the hole has been stitched up. I did a ladder stitch. Now all I need to do is the pie crust, which basically you're going to be pinching the edge together and sewing 1/4 of an inch away, just doing a little running stitch. So I'm probably going to do that this evening. Right, welcome back to the final part of my video. I don't really feel done. I feel gutted actually. I've got to finalise the video now because I just don't feel like I've done enough. But I've got to do it now. It's Thursday morning while I'm finalising it. But I'm going ice skating for the first time since, you know, we weren't allowed to go anymore. I could have probably gone back and had a practice sooner than now, but I've been poorly. So I haven't actually done any exercise or anything really physical since being poorly. So, but my coach said she wants to see me today. So I'm going to get half an hour practice on the ice. So I've got to make sure I get there on time. And then I've got my session with my coach and she's going to be expecting me to do jumps and spins and everything and everything else that you do figure skating, and I haven't, you know, even skated around in a long time, so I'm a little bit, and I haven't done any exercise, so I'm a little bit worried about it. Now before I go into my video, I suppose I need to explain to you why I look like this. Now I'm not going ice skating dressed like this. This is another one of my friend's t-shirts. I got this really as a bit of a joke to my husband. It's just new look kids, and it's because he puts Friends on a lot. I love Friends, but he puts it on an awful lot more than I suppose than I would, because it's on a lot, isn't it, on the TV, and it's just normally it's a bit of a background noise or in the kitchen, but I've got this as a bit of a joke, and it says I'd rather be watching Friends. So yeah, but if you've not noticed in my video, every time I've been on my video this week I've been in something shop bought, but I'm just letting you know every time I've stepped out the house I've actually been in homemades. So the last 3 days I can actually remember what I've been wearing. Yesterday I wore my Laura dress from that's by Rebecca Page, and the 2 days previous I've worn my emery dresses, not the gathered version, just the straight version, and one of them is hacked. I've lowered the back on it, and one's in a pineapple fabric I got from So Hailey Jane, and another one is navy with swallows on it, and I got that from Eliza Mack fabrics. So yes, the last 3 days I've gone out wearing nice dresses because it's really warm in the UK, and it's going to get warmer. Like, I love the warm weather and I love sunbathing, but the house is miserable. You know, you sweat at night, it's just awful. Eventually, when we've had things done to our house that my husband is going to be doing, the house should be better, but until he does that work, then yeah, we're just got to put up with it. And if you wonder what I've got in my hair, I'm not going ice skating like this. Now, how this has come about is I went food shopping, and I picked up a
a Vogue magazine, right? And it was on offer. It was a special price. Apparently it's normally £3.99 and it's on a special price of £2, and this was the issue that I got. And in the back there's some adverts. Let me see it. And I was just having a little look through and I found an American company, and let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is, number 23, and it was called Heatless Hair, and it's basically a heatless hair curling ribbon. So you basically it's for this, the one on here was 42 US dollars, and it was heatlesshair.com. So if you're in the US, great. But I just had a look on Amazon and it looked exactly the same, and this is my first go using it, right? So just to let you know, I did use heat tools on my hair yesterday. I washed my hair and I used heat tools, so my hair was looking quite smooth, so I just brushed it through this morning and I just put a bit of spray, and what you do is you clip this thing to the top of your head like that, then you're meant to spray your hair, wrap it around it, and then you've got these scrunchies to hold it in place. Now I put this in about 9:30 this morning. Did I? No, it must have been earlier. But it's 9:45 now, but I'm just going to leave it in until I need to leave the house. I might put a bit of hairspray in it, leave it in until it, because what it is, I know it's a bit dicey trying out something new when you're going to be going out the house, but I'm going to be tying my hair up for ice skating anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So I thought, if I can just give my hair a bit of a break from heat styling, you know, because I'm going out a lot more now, so yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. So I'll let you know what I think of it. Maybe I'll take a photo if I got time. It depends how much time I give myself before I go ice skating, because I've got to sort through my ice skating clothes and my ice skates. And do you know when you haven't been somewhere for ages and you kind of forget what you've got to do before you go and things? So yeah, that's what's going on at the moment. So so this one, it was just called, I got it from Amazon, a heatless hair ribbon, I think I typed in, and the girl here she sprayed her hair first, clipped it on, wrapped it round and put the... She looks like she's wound. I don't know if she's got more hair than me, but she looks like she's wound it a lot tighter, like right up here. And I've kind of done it down here. I wasn't really looking at the picture, but yeah, I'll have a bit of experimenting with it. And yeah, I'll let you know what I think of it, you know. So I do make a bit of effort with my hair. I do buy like nice shampoos and things like that for my hair, but when it comes to like makeup and skincare, I buy cheap as chips kind of things, you know. However, in the Vogue magazine there was a sample for some foundation and Dior, and I've put that on today, so I don't know what it looks like, so you know, but I have only not long done it, so you're going to look okay when you've just done it, haven't you? And there is a sample of perfume actually, but I haven't tried that. But yeah, I quite enjoyed looking in this Vogue magazine actually. One thing I found quite interesting, hang on if I can find it. If I can't find it, I'm sorry. Is it near the start actually? Ah, yeah. Rethink pink. Now I love pink. You've probably figured out that I love pink. I love a lot of colours. I love blues, reds. I love very nautical Great Britain colours, but I love pink, right? And look, Rethink Pink. And there's an article, and what I found really interesting, there was quite a smart looking coat in pink. That I made a coat, didn't I, late last year? Was it about October time maybe? And I made my little smart pink coat, didn't I? And my bright pink one that I made for ice skating. Excuse me, I've got an itch here. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear my cosy jacket that I made this year. That I said it was a bit out there. I'm going to wear it ice skating today. So that's exciting, isn't it? So yeah, so it was lovely seeing a bit of pink. It's actually crazy how much some things cost. These designer things. I think it's more to do with I'm sure that obviously it's the designer, you're paying for their name, and obviously, and they're going to use a nice fabric, but it's for the clientele, isn't it? I think it's for the clients that have got a lot of money, that they don't want to look like us everyday people, do they? So they price most people out of the price bracket, so only the rich can buy them, and they can look different to us, average folk. But us sewers, we can recreate, we can be even more unique than those people, can't we? Because we can make one-of-a-kind pieces that nobody's got. So, we're even more special, aren't we? So that's what's exciting about making your own clothes, isn't it? Anyway, right, what I want to talk to you about, I finished my Pincushion. I actually finished it yesterday, and I was itching to just film, I finished, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave it till this morning and I'll come and have a chat. And I'm so chuffed with it, and I've stuck 3 pins in it, and here it is. I've absolutely loved making this, and I've done the pie crust edge. You just basically pinch the edge, and then you just do a running stitch. And that's what it's looking at. So that's the Mandy Pincushion. If you don't know, I've rejoined the secret society, Mandy Shaw's Red Work Club, basically, that runs for a year. And it hasn't officially started. We haven't had our first package yet, but Mandy gave us a printout. I did show it you. A printout to do a Red Work piece to go on a folder, which I said I don't think I'm going to make a folder, I'm going to make a bag, but I don't know which bag yet. And you could reuse the design with all the outside bits to do the pincushion, and you've got downloadable instructions to do that. So yeah, I've absolutely loved it. Like, I've made a Mandish pincushion before, and I use it all the time. Do you know my little sewing suitcase? That's what I keep in there, and I use that. So this might be a bit big for my sewing suitcase. I might either keep that in here near my sewing machine, just maybe thinking about for hand sewing, or I'll keep it next to my bed where I do a lot of hand stitching. I don't quite know yet, but I just wanted to make it, and it's been delightful. A quick fix. I love a quick fix kind of project, actually. So now the bag club. Now, I have been basically sort of on time with the bags. Now, the bag that got released on the 2nd, it's the Vega, isn't it? Yeah, I think, yeah, it's the Vega. So the Vega bag got released on Wednesday the 2nd. Now, that's the knitting bag. And I haven't started it yet. I haven't prepped any fabrics or anything, because on that day is the day I made my Herrera crossbody bag, which we got the pattern for that in May, the end of May. So the only thing is, the Pellegrin bag is going to be out on Saturday. So we're Thursday now, and Saturday there's going to be another bag, and I've not yet made. So the Pellegrin bag, I'll try and put a photograph on the screen, but that I've got the paperwork here for the supplies. That's the Pellegrin bag. Now, I have made a bag like this before, and it's and I use it all the time. I take it to ukulele practice, and it's in oilcloth, and it was an owl and the sewing cat pattern. So it's very similar. I don't know if the size is going to be the same, but this one's got a pocket on the inside. My owl and the sewing cat one has got like a pocket that you just slip things in, I think, on the outside, but no pocket on the inside. But this one's got a pocket on the inside, so that's really lovely. So part of me thought, shall I just miss out the Vega bag for now, and then shoot straight into the Pellegrin bag? But the Pellegrin bag's not out till Saturday, and I don't know what's going to happen in between, and I'm itching to do dressmaking, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. But the thing is, on the 24th to the 26th of June, in the bag club, you can submit your images of your finished bags and you'll be entered for giveaways. So shall I just crack on with the bags basically and then enter them into the giveaways to be in the chance of the giveaways? Because dressmaking can wait, can't it? However, I do want to make a little top which I don't think is going to take very long, and it's a really tiny little top and it's a free project. Basically it's all rectangles, so you don't even need to print out a pattern, and it's by the Hemming, and it's this little, I can't remember the name of it, and it's this little tiny boob tube kind of top with straps on it, and it's really set to get hot. So I'm going to see what kind of lightweight scraps I've got, and or if not scraps, even cut into something that's big, that from a So Hayley Jane fabrics that I receive, and do some little sun top or more. And yeah, so that was probably, but I have gotten out my square neck top. Now you've seen the square neck top from me before. I made one in Jersey, but I'm going to make a couple more. I think I'm going to make one. Do you know I made the tulip skirt by Sew Over It? I think I'm going to make a square neck top to match it, so I've got an outfit, and I'm thinking of doing a denim square neck top as well. But that's what I'm thinking of doing for my Vega bag as well, denim. So I might get all my denims out. So yeah, I've got a lot, you know, I want to do, but I've had very little sewing time. I actually spent an hour and a half on Zoom on Saturday evening, and my husband did a bit of his DJing, so normally I maybe could have done a bit of sewing, but I was on the bag club Zoom, but it was the only Zoom I was going to be able to attend because it was the only UK friendly one. So yeah, that's what was happening. Now another thing that has been happening is I've been looking into Japanese sewing patterns. Now I've had a look at a few books online, and basically the reviews are very mixed. The percentage on Amazon, they don't look great, but had a look at the critical reviews and why they gave them critical reviews, and the reason was some of them was the tracing because of patterns being layered on layer. So as long as you're prepared for that, that's not too bad, is it? Because you can use your tracing wheel, you know, put the pattern on top and use a tracing wheel if it's a bit hard to trace, and which is a bit annoying, but you know, I've had to do that so I can get my head around it. And the other one was size inclusivity. Now a lot of people were saying they only go up to a UK 12, but obviously that's not going to be an issue for me, is it? And obviously the issues I have is a lot of patterns aren't suitable for me because the fashion is quite oversized. What you'll probably notice is a lot of clothes sewers, they say I fit into this size, but I looked at the ease in this pattern and I've sized down. But the problem is for me, I'm right at the lower end anyway, and if the patterns are very oversized, I can't really undersize unless I do a lot of drafting myself to undersize, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot more work for me. So I was thinking, if I look at Japanese patterns, Japanese people generally, they're quite small people, aren't they? They're not particularly tall people, often quite tiny people. So I thought I'll have a look. So I have ordered some off Amazon, some Japanese sewing books which are yet to arrive. However, there was a book that popped up, and her name is Kenis, if I'm pronouncing this Wong. It was a suggested book that came up because I was looking at Japanese books, and this is the book. Now this lady is the designer of a pattern company called Itch to Stitch, which I have heard of. Now I've never sewn a pattern from Itch to Stitch. I don't know if I've ever bought a pattern from Itch to Stitch. I think I've had a look and I've heard of them, but I thought, wow, this would be a nice introduction. Now I've had a flick through this book last night. Now it does look very, very good. Now, do you know, if you wanted a lot of hand holding, there's a hell of a lot of drawn pictures. Now I'll just show you an example. I'll show you a good page of the pattern. Now this is the first garment in it, and there's all those pictures, look. All those. All those. All those. Still more, look, this is the same garment, and that's it. So that all of that was for one garment, and the garments do look pretty cute in it actually. There's basically the Mornington, which is basically, you can either have it as a sleeveless top, a sleeveless dress, or a dress with flare sleeves. I'll see if I can see an example of that. Right, the pictures, they're all over the place in the book. I'll show you one example of the Mornington. That's the dress version. It's got a tie waist and the flare sleeves, right. There's the tack sang, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, and it's a dolman sleeve wrap, and it's that. Looks a bit like a kimono, and she's made it in a quilted jersey fabric, but she says you can make it, basically you can have it as a jacket, a cardigan or a wrap. It's basically all of the above. You can make it in woven or stable knits. She's made it in a quilted knit and wearing it as a warm jacket, but you can use it in a lightweight silk. So it's quite versatile, the pattern is. As with the first one, you know, I've only really showed you a snippet of the first one, but the pictures are all over the place. It's, you know, when you read it properly, it says turn to this page, you know. So then the next one is the Prague 52. I don't know if that's right. No, 54, sorry. Not 52. I'm sure I've got dyslexia. Right, that's the Prague. Now, I don't know if there's different... Oh, yeah, there's a top... Oh, yeah, there we go. A top variation and a dress. Actually, let me go back to the first dress and see if there's some line drawings for the first one. What page is it? The 24. Yeah, there's some line drawings, actually. That's a picture of it again. There, look. And there's the lined... You see if you can see this, right? There's the line drawings, look, at the top version. So you've got that one with the tie, the dress with the tie, and then the one with the sleeves, right? Let's go back. If there's any really long bits, I'll forward it. Then there's the Carl S. Bad. And it's a draped cardigan and a draped vest, and it's on page 69. I'm flicking through this as fast as I can. Right, that's that. I think that is beautiful, you know. I'm not normally into that kind of thing. But you can have it as a sleeveless one and a sleeved. It's lovely, isn't it? And the Fortuna. And you can have it as joggers, shorts and wide leg pants. It's page 78. This book wasn't the cheapest. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I paid. But it wasn't the cheapest of books. But I can kind of understand. Yeah, so she's wearing a version of them in the picture. Now, there's other pictures of these garments. Now, there's a slim leg jogger, shorts and a wide leg jogger. And she does suggest pages that you can look at them. Like the shorts are on page 4 and the wide leg ones are on page 78. So I'm trying to hurry this along. So that's why I'm not turning to all the pages. I'm just giving you a quick overview. There's the Castle Point, and it's a false wrap long skirt or a false wrap short skirt. That's on page 98. I'm going to turn to that page. Here we go. That's the long version there. And the short version is basically exactly like that, but shorter. And there's the line drawings, look. There. Right, I keep losing my contents page. Oh, right. Sorry about this. There we go. It's right near the start. Then there's the Palamo. I think it's Palamo, and it's a blouse and a tiered dress that's under that same pattern. Let me have a look. 114. That's one picture of it, and that's the line drawings there. Right, and then the last one now. Oh, sorry about this. The Orossi. It's Orossi. So the Orossi. Rossi maybe, I don't know. So 130. There's a V-neck top, a V-neck dress, and a scarf neck top. I think I remember this actually. 130. Right, there's a picture of it. That's really nice, isn't it? And there's the line drawings. So you can have it without the tie, you can have it as a dress, and then you've got the tie neck version. So I'm guessing you can mix and match. I suppose you could have the dress with the tie as well, or you could have the tie and the short sleeve on the top. So you can mix and match. So I thought that's lovely. Like, I don't know how soon I'm going to be looking at those, because my immediate plans are square neck tops, denim, and the one in the curtain fabric so it matches my skirt, those little sun tops, and the bags and things, and then I'm going to have like my Mandy Shaw things turning up, aren't I? So yeah, I've just got a lot going on. There's just too much. And then there was that pattern from the other day that I showed you, and there's another one I've got that I'd really like to look at, and it's more an evening top. So I just feel at the moment that I've got not enough time and too much to sew. Don't we all? You know, it's just one of those. And now with everything getting back to normal, and obviously we went out, didn't we, Sunday for the afternoon, and yeah, we're going out a little bit more. So right, what I'm going to do is, I don't know if anything's going to pop up at the end, whether a photograph of what my hair looks like or anything, but or my, you know, my jacket I'm wearing ice skating, or maybe a snippet of ice skating. I don't know, but if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm going to say my goodbyes now. Thank you so much for joining me for this week. I really hope you got something out of this video, you know, because I didn't really get that much done. And obviously, if you're not in the secret society or not in the bag club, how interesting is it for you? But just to let you know, regarding the Crafty Gemini bag club, when the bag club is over, excuse me, got fluff again, bag club is over, you'll be able to get those patterns individually anyway. So, you know, it's not like you can never do them. And the same with Mandy. You normally find in the future, Mandy, like for example, when I was in the quilt club, the Red Work Club, when I did that quilt, and all the little projects we got, Mandy bought a book out after. So basically, everybody could do that quilt after and do all the projects that we got. So it's not like you're never going to be able to do them if you haven't signed up to these things. So thank you so much for joining me for my Friday sews this week. I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't get more done, but you know, it's just the way it goes. And you know, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm going to be going to a forest school kind of thing with my children as well on Sunday. So yeah, it's, you know, so it might be a bit of a slow burner again, and it's going to be really hot again. It's going to get hot on the weekend, and sleeping at night's a bit difficult. So I hope you have a restful and get some sleep on the weekend, and just get to do what you love, even if it's not sewing, you know, seeing loved ones, getting some sunshine, you know. It's not all about sewing life, is it? Even though, you know, I could basically, if I'm not sewing, I'm thinking about sewing. It's just one of those. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me this week for Friday Sews, and hopefully I'll see you next Friday. Bye. Right, I'm nearly ready to go ice skating, and I've put my clothes on, so I've tried to do it as carefully as I can, and it's the moment of truth. So I'm going to be doing this. I might start looking away from the camera because I'll be looking at myself, because I have to look there to look at you, but to look at myself I've got to look here. So I'm going to take it out. So I've hairspray, I've tried to get my clothes on for ice skating as carefully as I can. I can't remember what socks I wear, it's been that long, which I wear under my boots, I don't know. And yeah, I'm going to take it out now. So I don't know which way it is. I'm going to take this clip off. I've been a bit concerned about this clip actually, like leaving dents in my hair, but I don't know, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know if you take that out first, but I've done that. So I'm going to take this. It's basically a scrunchie. Right. Now, I know there's loads of different ways of curling your hair without heat, but I don't like really small curls, you know what I'm saying? I like them a bit bigger. So you're literally only getting 2 curls. Let's have a look. Right. Have a look at this. Do you know what? I'm quite impressed. I think, let me just pop it there. Oh, that's what it looks like, look. So I had to put that on my head. I had to clip it on and then basically wrap one half of my hair around this side and put a scrunchie on and then do the other side. It looks a bit funny there, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll just put that there. Yeah, it just look a bit weird there, but maybe I didn't roll it high enough. I think I only started rolling it from down here, and that's probably the mess from being in bed. So, but like I say, I'm going to be tying my hair up today anyway to go ice skating. So if I just put my hair back and just run my fingers through the top a little bit. I'm not going to run my fingers through the ends because that's going to separate what I've just done. But yeah, it's quite nice, you know, if you just want it a bit natural, just a natural wave, and you don't really want to put the heat in. Yeah, so I think that's a thumbs up. I think I need to have a bit of a practice with it, and maybe I didn't put a lot of wet on it, you know, I didn't go to town with water or anything, but yeah, I'm quite impressed, and I think that's going to look quite pretty when I tie it up in a ponytail to go ice skating. I think that's going to look really pretty. So yeah, I've got to go in a moment, so wish me luck. I'm probably going to be like Bambi on ice, but yeah, I'm going to need luck. So anyway, so thank you for stopping for this bit. I don't know if I'm taking you ice skating or not. It's just I've took the tripod before, and then I've got there, and then I've not been that brave to get the tripod on, and obviously I might be a bit rubbish. Who wants to see a rubbish figure skater? So I don't know. Anyway, so thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.